Hello everyone, welcome to today's free webinar on Bitcoin mining stock, brought to you by Elliott Wave Forecast. I'm your host Ayub, Senior Crypto and Stock Analyst, and we are diving in as Bitcoin surged to new all-time highs, nearly reaching 120k. So the big question for today, will this Bitcoin rally ignite a surge in crypto mining stocks? Let's explore the top miners and Bitcoin investors. So feel free to submit your question during the live and enjoy the session. So overall, we've been tracking the recent price surge in Bitcoin. We've been expecting the rally to take place since the recent lows in June and also from April. We've been presenting different updates during these times. As you know, in our weekly and daily forecast, we've been expecting Bitcoin to rally above 100, and now we are looking for further targets. We did in May a free webinar talking about Bitcoin surging toward 200k. It seems to be the path is still there, but in this type of webinar, we are presenting a modest forecast for Bitcoin. We are not, as you can see in this weekly chart, we are not putting the 200k target. We have the different, of course, count that is presented in our member area. But for this particular webinar, we are using this chart to present just the minimum target for these cycles. And we reserved the right for the rest of forecast to our members. So let's start by just doing a quick review about the current structure for Bitcoin. Then we switch to the mining stocks because everything is correlated with the Bitcoin. We won't be seeing any price action moving into new highs or a good percentage in movement unless Bitcoin is breaking into new highs, and that's exactly what is happening specifically this week. So it was basically the perfect timing. We didn't know if Bitcoin is going to rally into new time highs this week, but we expecting the rally to happen during the summer, and that's exactly what is taking place. So as you can see here, we are forecasting still Bitcoin to extend higher toward 135, 149 area. Technically speaking, this is really important at this stage because we can see that this target is coming from the lows from last summer. This is 2024 August low. Using the connector with the April low, we have an equal X area around 135. This is really important because now with the recent break to the upside, we have another equal X area coming from April using the connector in June. So if this is either a wave 4 or in a most bullish scenario, this could be even a wave 2. The focus for us is this cycle coming from April. We have the first leg. It was followed by a 3-ways pullback, which we did manage to catch the low. It was a good buying opportunity. If you are following us on social media, we've been sharing this buying area in the short term. It presented a good buying opportunity, and now price rallied into new highs. This break into new highs opened a very important bullish sequence from April because the extension based on this connector from June is open the next equal X area, which also give us a similar target around 135, 136. So we can see now we have two important cycles, the one from last year and the one started from April. Both, I'll put two different colors in a second, this one in blue. So the one in green from August 2024 gives a projection around 135k, and the one from April 2025 is also giving us another projection toward 135. So technically speaking, we have 135 basically locked in. We expect this to happen in the coming few months, and we expect this cycle to be extended to the upside. Therefore, we only recommend the long side and keep looking for buying opportunity, specifically in the short term against the recent June lows. So any pullback should remain supported and the cycle could extend. Of course, for the extension above 150 toward 200, that's another topic, which is not what we're going to discuss today. Our main focus will be the mining stocks, which will be taken a look in a minute. So as long as Bitcoin is going to remain supported to the upside, at least in the coming few months toward 135, then most likely basically the mining stocks will remain supported and see a surge higher. So let's now switch to the main topic for today. Let's start with one of the biggest mining stocks in USA, which is Mara Holding. Now, I want to start with the overall picture, then we go over the specific instrument that has a bullish sequence that we recommend for trading, and to end up to make the top 5 that we are expecting to outperform in the coming few weeks, few months, which could present for you a good buying opportunity. So Mara, as you can see, is still kind of, you see the sideways range that we've been seeing since 2022 low, despite Bitcoin rallying to new all-time highs. We are not seeing a strong rally above the previous peak cycle from 2021. This is one of the main important point or key point that you need to notice, the overall bigger picture, because without the monthly and weekly charts, you can't be just jumping into the daily and short term. We can see that since this peak, basically in 2012 or since the IPO, the stock has been trading to the downside. So the overall bigger picture, technically speaking, remain weak, or we can say bearish for now, because it keeps creating lower high in 2015, lower high in 2021, and for now there is still a chance of making another lower high, but we don't know if the market's going to break and start the next cycle. So let's focus now on the current cycle that started from 2022 lows. We can see that the stock is showing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. This was the first rally last year. I mean, it ended last year. So we have a 5 waves to the upside. This structure is supporting that the stock is still looking for at least another 5 waves to the upside to take place. Now, this is important to understand because the next pullback, which happened during basically the entire 2024, despite Bitcoin rallying, the mining stocks has been lagging tremendously, but there is now a high chance of them trying to catch up with the rest of the crypto market. Specifically, if Bitcoin is heading into the final targets this year, then we can see a shift in momentum and shift in capital. The money flow could go from Bitcoin to these mining stocks because they could present a good buying opportunity. Now, if the first 5 waves is going to be replicated from these lows, because the market after 5 wave advance, it did a typical 3 waves pullback, which almost reached the buying area around $9. A typical textbook 5 waves, 3 waves pullback, and now you expect the market to either resume within a 5 wave advance similar to this one, or at least bounce in 3 waves, which could even fail below the peak. So let's go with the most bullish scenario that we are presenting, because from current levels, this is the same April low as we have in Bitcoin. I mean, April or March, some instruments have a March low earlier. But most importantly, the projection from here, if we are going to see another 5 wave advance taking place, this could take the stock toward the next equal X area around 41, 49. What we can notice here is that the next equal X area is also coming alongside this weekly or multi-year trend line coming from 2014 all the way toward 2021. So this is the next area that you should be watching if Mara is going to follow this path for another 5 wave advance. So if you are looking for the short-term trading opportunity, the investment opportunity took place in April when Bitcoin presented the buying opportunity. That was the area for the majority of anything related to crypto in terms of altcoins or stocks to find a major low. If this low managed to hold the previous low, in this case the 2022-23, that was the case, then technically speaking we have a higher low. Now we need to see the stock if it's going to follow and make a higher high, which will open the door for either a wave 3 to the upside, then this could mean a potential move towards $60. And if it's going to be a wave 3, then it has the potential of breaking this multi-year trend line, and this could be bullish for the stock in the coming few years. Not currently in the short term, but this will be reflected on later on, because you are breaking this multi-year trend line, then it will open the potential that it will be presenting a potential 5-wave to the upside, and for the coming few years this could be really good for a long-term investor. So for us it's a step-by-step process. We need to see a break above 2024 peak for the weekly and monthly traders, then we can support the idea of further break. Now on the short term, which is what everyone is interested in, we can see that following the recent break higher in Bitcoin, we are seeing from the same April cycle. If I go back, you see this April cycle. What the market is suggesting that from April, you expecting another leg to the upside to take place, which will be driving the market into the next extreme. This is the equivalent of Bitcoin going toward 135, 150. Mara, ideally, the minimum sequence is suggesting a 5-wave advance into the 21, 25 area. I mean, we are getting closer to there. So, I mean, it's not the best risk reward in terms of trading, but technically speaking, the stock, at least from these lows, it should be doing a larger 3-wave pullback. 1, 2, 3. If the market is bearish, this will fail around this trend line, failing to break into new highs, and the market will drop from there. However, if there is a bullish sequence to be established, we need to see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If the market in the coming few weeks, few months manage to establish a 5-wave advance from the lows of April, then that would be supporting the rest of mining stocks to manage to do another 3-wave pullback, hold the lows, and then resume the rally. So it really depends on how the structure will play out in the coming few weeks. So we know that in the short term we should be extending higher, at least 21, most likely we'll be hitting 25 with further extension. But you need to see when you reach this area how the market will react from there. So in the short term, the pullbacks will remain supported above 1349, which is the June low, and you can expect the market to keep extending higher. Same thing if we move on to this, another one of the biggest mining stocks here is Riot. The stock is also overall, if you see the overall picture from the peak from 2021, we didn't really manage to start a new cycle higher. It's been trading sideways in the recent 2 or 3 years, but the structure in the short term starting to show, let's say, bullish signs, which is really good, but we need to see the follow-up. It did compare to, I mean, if we are going to see the stock from the all-time highs, it's still bearish, but we need to focus on the recent cycle where Bitcoin where the company is involved in Bitcoin. We can see that it did manage to make a higher high in 2021 compared to 2028. So it's kind of following still Bitcoin, but this cycle it's been lagging. There is a chance that this cycle will extend and the stock will be able to find the move to the upside within a strong wave 3, but we can't be running before we walk. We need to take it step by step. For now, most important thing to focus on in the short term is this cycle. Similar to Mara, the stock has been showing 5-wave advance from 2023 low, and it did manage to do a 7 swing or 3 swings within a corrective structure to the downside. It reached the buying area in April, similar to Bitcoin. This is technically speaking a weekly buying area, which is more important, more strong compared to, for example, a 1 hour or a daily buying opportunity. The weekly buying areas usually provide strong reaction. We saw the first reaction back in September from last year. For example, this reaction from the buying area gave 142% move to the upside, but it failed within the channel. Again, it did another pullback and to make a new marginal low, and from there we are still getting another strong reaction. See, another 100% move. A 2x move within a stock is really good. So trading these weekly extreme blue box area always give an edge. Now we need to understand that this is still not given any bullish sign until it managed, first of all, to establish an impulse of 5-wave advance from April low, and most importantly, it needs to break this downtrend channel, which been holding since 2023 peak. If the stock managed to do something similar to this, break the channel, hold above it, then it will open the upside with an equivalent move to the one that we saw from 2023. So another leg similar to this will take the stock higher toward $23-27 area, either within a larger ABC, or it could be the start of a wave 3. We don't have the data for now, but this presents a potential break, which you should be watching closely, because if the break happens within the weekly cycles, that will open the acceleration higher. And remember, the wave 3 always is fast in time. It's the strongest, so it won't be needing years to be able to reach these targets. When the wave 3 starts, an example, during this move, the wave 3 only took a couple of weeks. It doesn't mean this is going to be the same, but this target, despite looking to be maybe far away, technically speaking, another 100% to the upside, but when you are trading within wave 3, this target could be just reached within few weeks. So that's why watching this breakout closely. So keep this in your watch list. This will be interesting for later on. Now, if I zoom in to the short term, it's slightly different from the previous stock, but we have, since this April low, we already exceeding the 100%. If we are using this short-term connector from early June, you can see they are starting to show extension higher, and extension higher is really good, because when you go past the 100% without any significant pullback, it gives you the structure that this impulse is starting to accelerate, which suggests that the wave 3 could be in progress within the cycle. That said, you need to understand that we are still within the channel. So we are getting closer to that retest within the 618 area around 1333. A break above this in the short term will be your key indication that in the coming few weeks, you could be seeing the acceleration higher taking place toward 23. So if we manage to do something similar to this in the short term in the coming few weeks, that will be giving you an edge. You could be looking to buy the breakout after a corrective 3 or 7 swings. For example, if you manage to catch the next pullback after it breaks higher, because exceeding the 618 area is also a key for us. It means that this is not a corrective structure. This is definitely an impulsive move, and the impulsive move usually extend higher. So these are the two biggest stocks that give us an overall picture. If we move on to a couple of other, I mean, these are the one in USA. We can take a look at few others from Canada as well. Canadian stocks are also presenting good opportunities. Now we can take a look, for example, at HAT, which is another mining stock that is sharing the same cycle from 2022. We can see a good constructive structure starting to make higher highs to the upsides within this cycle, making also higher lows. Now, if we follow this sequence, despite still trading, of course, below 21, I mean, I won't be repeating the same for the rest of stocks, but majority of them are trading below 2021. We are not seeing new all-time highs yet. We are not suggesting new all-time highs or even a break above 2021. So I'm not going to repeat that. I just wanted to explain it for the first two stocks. And now we are only focusing on the shorter term cycles, because that's what Bitcoin is suggesting. Acceleration higher toward 135 in the coming few months. So we should be expecting these stocks to follow up. Specifically, we are seeing that the same April low around the market is presenting us with the key pivots, and therefore we should be seeing that extension. Now, the extension for the stock in particular give us a target around 38.44, which could be also around this channel taking place from 2022. Now, the short-term cycles are also showing a bullish sequence. Now, this is a stock to keep in mind that it still needs further confirmation to break into the previous peak from 2024, but the equal X area here is around 24.27. If it's going to be an impulsive rally that will be extended and making a break above the previous 2024 peak, then most likely this will extend beyond the 618 area, which means this was, let me just correct the equal X. If you are going to see a potential nest, to explain the idea, if this is going to be your wave 1, wave 2, another wave 1, another wave 2, if this is going to be a nesting in progress, then Ideally, the next acceleration is going to be the wave 3, 4, 3, 4, and finally breaking above this peak, which will open the door, of course, to a 38. So you can see the potential. In the short term, the market will be deciding soon. Some of these stocks have still more room to go. Some of them are already reaching, for example, the CLSK area. This is the June low that we've been talking about in the short term. There is a secondary June low, but the market is within a decision time. If the stock is bullish, it will be doing a pullback, hold the lows in 3 or 7 swings, and then resume the rally. Buying opportunity in this time would be against the 24th or 23rd, in this case, 23rd of June. This low should be holding above the $15 and the market will extend higher. Does this provide a good risk reward? If you are trading in the short term, buying this pullback with the stop below maybe $15, looking for a move towards 38, that could be a good risk reward. That's up to you to decide, of course. I'm just presenting the potential moves based on the short-term cycles. Of course, keep in mind, all these instruments are going to present later on. We're going to filter the best one for buying opportunity in the dailies and weeklies, because not every chart can present setups in the short term. Let me just take a look if there is any question in the meantime. Okay, let's continue. One second. Just allow me 1 second. Okay, so if you take a look at another one, for example, Hive. Now, Hive has a different story. You see here, it did manage to make a new all-time highs in 2021. However, the stock been making lower highs, and recently it did manage to make lower lows. So this is one of the things that I want to mention. We only recommend to focus on the bullish stocks, and this is another example. Despite this could be even for investor a good investment opportunity, which is we'll be talking about in a second. But in terms of technical structure, this is still another instrument that is weak and showing lower lows. Lower lows is always not a good sign for any instrument in the market. If you are looking for trading and investment, you always want to look for a bullish instrument on the weekly and the monthly that could present a good buying opportunity. Of course, later on the market could prove us otherwise, but for us, you can see the bounce in 2023 was in 3 swings. It never did the 5 waves compared, for example, to if we go back to Mara here. This was a 5-wave advance. That's why the next pullback managed to hold the lows. However, if we go back to Hive, it was a 3-wave bounce. There wasn't any 5-wave advance. What the market did later on, the bounce failed and we ended up doing new marginal lows. That's why the impulsive 5 waves is an edge for you to identify which structure is more likely to hold the lows. It's not a 100% guarantee, but it always gives you an edge. Now, if we take a look at the pullback from the peak from 2023, it was also a corrective pullback. It reached the buying area around 1.66, and this presented also another, technically speaking, a bouncing area or maybe a long-term investment opportunity, depending on how you see it. For the market at this stage, you need to understand that it's corrective, 3-wave up, 3-wave down. Best case scenario is a larger 3-wave bounce, then the market could again make new lows. If the bounce is going to make a 7, it could be 3, then could be doing 7 swings, still trading below $5. As long as it stays below $5, then most likely this will phase out. This is not the best instrument I would be looking to chase for investment, but in the short term, similar to the rest, sharing April lows, I would expect this to trade higher, to continue to extend higher. In the near term, we should be seeing, technically speaking, 2.51 is around the corner. It's almost there. We can see already in the short term that is showing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if the market is bearish, this could be your A. You did 3 waves pullback in B. And now the wave C is already showing 5 waves. So if the market is going to show that this is a corrective bounce, then it will end the cycle, do another 3 waves pullback, then will bounce again within another 3 swings. And the entire bounce will be a corrective 7 swing structure. So that's why this is not the best instrument to watch, which is an example how to avoid this kind of situation. I would rather, for example, go back here. The first rally from the lows. Sorry, I was looking to show you right. The first rally from December 2022 was in 5. So I would rather chase the upside in the next pullback here after the break of the channel rather than chasing Hive in the short term. Despite there is potential of even retesting the $4 area, but you need to find 1, 2, 3. If you are looking to buy it, wait for a 4 and a 5. If the market gives you 5 from the lows, then definitely you will be looking to buy the 3 ways pullback, looking for the next leg to the upside. It will give you an edge because you will know that the market will give you another cycle similar to this. The same way that we've been explaining for Bitcoin, the same way that Bitcoin, for example, you see the first cycle, 5 wave to the upside, a 3 ways pullback, the market did another 5 wave higher, reaching the exact target. Now expecting the same here to happen. After the 5 wave up, 3 ways pullback, then another 5 wave advance to reach the second target. You should be doing the same with these instruments. Okay. There is a question about gold. Unfortunately, we won't be covering gold in today's live session, but you can check. We have a gold video that we posted recently in our channel. You can check it out, or you can check our website. We cover gold in our members area, so you can take a look at that for sure. Between Mara and Riot, if I want to buy only one, which stock is better? Okay, I mean, this is a really important question. I would like to leave this at the end because I will be making a really good comparison between these stocks. But that's really important because if you are just looking to buy one, which one will be better? So yeah, I'll keep this in mind for my the Q&A. So no problem, my friend. And yeah, I'll be checking this one as well because it's in the list. For sure. So let's continue before we go to the top 5 mining stocks that we do recommend to watch for the rest of 2025. Another example that I want to show here, which is giving you a perfect indication what I'm talking about in the recent price action that should help you identify the breakup. Now you can see, for example, CleanSpark is another mining stocks. It's been lagging similar to the rest. Same story. This is 2019, 2021, 2024. It's lower highs, no real breakout to new all-time highs, but most importantly is the focus on the short-term cycle. The first rally, it's questionable, but we can make this as a 5 wave. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if the market is really going to follow the same pattern as Bitcoin, and we are going to see the money flow into the mining in the coming few months, then ideally, I already put the equal X. 1 second. You're welcome, my friend, no problem. So if we take a look at the next target here, which is around 29.45, this will only happen if we are seeing a similar cycle to the one that started from the 2022. Another cycle similar to this should bring the stock toward 29. If we are going to see in terms of risk reward, this is a potential, let's say, it's more than 2x in terms of percent. Of course, from the low is clearly a 4x move or 3x move. But we are just confirming the breakout. We had the first weekly close last week, and now we are seeing the confirmation. So this is a good example that I want to finish before we do the top mining stocks. We showed you, first of all, the classical structure that we are seeing within the majority of these stocks, making lower highs, sideways price action without any breakout. We showed you an example of a stock that is making even lower lows. And now we are moving to a stock that is breaking out of the range and could potentially make a new highs. Now, this stock in particular is having the weekly close. This is an initial confirmation. It was also bouncing from the buying blue box area. Technically speaking, this was the equal X area. It spanned basically, I think, almost 6 months there. No, not 6 months, but it was since last year. Yeah, since August last year. So basically, almost 1 year of consolidation within the buying area. And now we are seeing the reaction taking place, because you can see the first reaction happened last year. It failed. And now we are seeing the second reaction. Now it needs to show 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the coming few weeks or few months, if the stock managed to establish a 5-wave advance, then most likely it will hold the lows and accelerate to the upside. This could happen short term. A projection here within the line doesn't project the time in 2026. I'm just projecting the price to explain how this can play out. So let's not confuse the projection and these lines with the time. I'm only projecting the potential structure. I'm not talking about the timing, but most likely these move to the upside will happen in the coming few weeks. If we establish a 5-wave advance, then most likely the low will hold and we start accelerating to the upside toward 29.34. And there is a chance for this one in particular to break the 2021 peak, because the extension in the wave 3, if this is a bigger one, if I put the labels, if this is the big one, you get the 2 here. If this is a wave 3 starting to take place, it has the potential of establishing a 5-wave advance above $43, which will be a break above the 2021 peak. So this is an important thing to keep in mind. Not every stock will be able to break the previous peak, even from 2024. And we don't have any confirmation yet, but the structure on the short term are starting to show signs, like this one breaking the trend line. And the short term, we can expect, we are already basically within the equal X area, but in the near term, this will be defining how this will play out. You can see we are starting to see the pullback from the equal X area, which is a technical area where the market usually pull back, in this case, from the lows. We are only seeing 3 waves at this stage. Most likely, if this is a bullish instrument that is going to rally to the upside, this pullback will be a wave 4. The market will do a wave 5. There will be a pullback maybe next month, and then the market will accelerate to the upside. So this is really important to understand, because any stock that is not yet showing a 5 waves, it's still within the danger zone, and we need that confirmation. Yeah, that's also in the card, because we know the timing of this cycle is approaching an end, which is why we've been explaining that Bitcoin is the main important thing that we need to watch. And for us, that Bitcoin extension toward 135, 149 will be entering the bonus time. We know when Bitcoin is these areas, we'll be watching these stocks. If these stocks are already showing only 3 waves up and trading below the previous peak, then most likely, yeah, they will fail and we won't be seeing new highs. However, if Bitcoin slowed down within this move and still didn't reach the target around 135, and you start seeing these stocks break or showing 5 waves, then most likely this acceleration will happen in the coming few months. Of course, Bitcoin, a cycle to the upside can even extend further. So we are not going to pick the top for the market. That's not what we do at Elliott Wave Forecast. We allow the market to show us the peak. So there is no need to try to pick the top for Bitcoin at this stage. We know that the extension at least give us 135. As long as we don't reach 135, then the majority of the crypto market or mining stocks will be trying to follow up. Yes, Bitfarm, I'll be checking. First of all, that's great, my friend. So we have these 2 stocks on the list, so I'm not going to try to take the fun out of this, but let's take a look at, I think I have it here, yeah. The final one that I want to finish with it, because this will be the first stock that we will be introducing in our top list for now. So the first one is IREN Limited. So if I am not wrong, this is an American stock. This is one of the recent stock that was introduced in the late 2021 cycle. Now, if we forget about the cycle because we don't have previous data, all it matters is the cycle from 2022. This is one of the best examples that you should be considering for the market. Now, why this is a good example for you to consider for buying or trading opportunity, because investment other on the long term, but as we are entering the bonus time for Bitcoin in the coming months, then you should be focusing on the bullish stock that give you the best risk reward or the best trading opportunity. I'm just checking. Okay, sorry about that. So this is a good example because we can see from the lows. Again, this is the same cycle from 2022. What we have here is a 5-wave advance, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which was basically a diagonal or a leading diagonal. It was an overlapping structure, which is usually an indication of a leading diagonal. 5-wave advance, a perfect 3-ways pullback into the buying area around 699, 542. 5 up, 3-wave pullback, holding the lows from 2022. So a higher low. What happens here next? Acceleration to the upside, breaking the previous peak of 2024. So this is the best example that you can look forward if you are looking to trade an instrument. A bullish sequence that managed to break the previous peak. It suggests that further acceleration could be seen. Of course, you can always put the question, this could be just an ABC bounce, hold the previous peak, and trade to the downside. Now, of course, we are not looking for the bearish momentum at this because it just managed to break into new highs, and most importantly, with the Bitcoin suggesting still another leg higher toward 135, then most likely the stock here will be extending higher toward at least $20. Which is that far away, so it's not the best target in the short term. But if this is a wave 3 taking place with the momentum and the RSI is suggesting that the acceleration is still in place, we can see that we are still seeing divergence, which is one of the key elements. We don't use divergence in a regular like everyone else is using around the market. We are using divergence to confirm cycle, not for trading purpose. For us, with this divergence making new highs, we know that the market is still suggesting more upside within the wave 3. Most likely this is 1, 2, and this is another 1, 2 taking place. And there is a high probability chance for this stock in particular to accelerate higher within this as a wave 3. And that mean, one second, that would be reflected, if this is your wave 3 in progress, that would be reflected with an extension toward the 618 area around 29, which overall means a new all-time highs. So this is one of the rare cases for mining stocks that project during the cycle from 2022 an extension higher and to new all-time highs. So this is one of the main, or basically the top one that we are presenting in this list, because we have a bullish sequence. Now, how do you want to trade, or how do you like to trade this one in the short term? If you zoom in the daily, now you see the acceleration higher taking place. You have two ways to be able to trade the stock. Either you need to wait for this entire cycle that started in April to end, which doesn't guarantee you any entry because you don't know if the pullback will be in 3 or 7 swings. But most likely, if the cycle ends, maybe by the end of this month, you get a 3-ways pullback, maybe to retest the previous breakout area, which is around $16-15. If you manage to see a pullback in 3 or 7 swings, what I mean in 3 or even 7 swings like this, if the market corrects in 3 or 7, then it will present a good buying opportunity. Then you'll be able to catch the next move higher. However, the market can always deny you the pullbacks and could just keep extending within shallow short-term structures and keep extending higher to break to new highs. In that case, your only option is to buy the smaller degree pullbacks, which are riskier and not the best fitted for the short this type of structure, because if the wave 3 is going to extend without any deep pullback, it will be hard to catch it. I mean, the best buying opportunity are the one, as I explained it earlier, within the weekly cycle or daily cycle. If you are trading using our system, for example, back in April, when Bitcoin was presenting a good buying opportunity here within the blue box, this stock in particular managed to provide us a buying opportunity after 3 ways pullback at the equal X area. Okay, let me catch up with the question. I'm keeping in mind, don't worry, I'm keeping in mind, I'll be checking Bitfarm in a few. I'll be also checking BTBT. It's on my watch list. I'll keep all these questions at the end because we want to continue with the top 5 mining stocks, and then we'll be checking the rest. So the second one that I want to add to the list, which there was a question about it, is GLXY. We know that GLXY, of course, is not mainly with mining stocks, but on correlation, I believe they do have a division of mining, but correct me if I'm wrong. But most importantly for us, the reason I like the stock, you can already guess if you really been following what we've been saying since the start of the session. We are seeing a break above the 2000, or in this case to January 2025. We have a bullish sequence in the stock. Most importantly, it's also starting to break, or in the process of breaking, above this weekly trend line from 2021. This is really important because first of all, we have an incomplete bullish sequence from 2022 low. This was the main cycle. It did sideways pullback, and now it managed to rally above the previous peak. This is a higher high sequence taking place, and this higher high sequence is suggesting that the stock in particular will be extending higher toward the next equal X area around, in this case, $30, all the way towards 35. If this is the start of a new bullish 5-wave advance, then most likely this could be 1, 2, and you are still expecting wave 3 and 4 and 5. In that case, a nest in process similar to the one that I showed you in the previous stock, IREN. This could be another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, still within wave 3. You get the wave 4 pullback, and then a wave 5 to break above the 618 area around 43. Most likely, this will be the case if we see the acceleration happening in the coming few weeks. It have enough time, and there is a strong chance that the wave 3 of 3 didn't took place. Same way that we saw in just in a couple of weeks, a strong move from $8 toward 26. The wave 3 of 3 will be even stronger and faster. In a couple of weeks, you can just expect the price to move from $20 toward $40. It's just a 2x move compared to this one. So technically speaking, the majority of the gains already happened here, but you still have another 2x in the process. If we are going to break the peak from May, which already Bitcoin did, confirming the move higher, then most likely GLXY Digital will be next online to follow. We need to see step-by-step process taking place. In the short term, you need a break above 26.57 to confirm that move higher, and then it opens the door toward 43. So GLXY Digital is our second stock that we are watching for the current cycle. Now the third one, the third one is pullback, and now we are seeing an impulsive rally. Now, if this impulsive rally is going to extend with the rest of the market, then most likely we should be seeing a 5-wave advance taking place toward 9.44, 1124, and this break higher opens the door of a retest of the 2021 peak. All these stocks that are going to break the previous 24 peak will have a high of breaking or retesting at least the 2021 peak. So that puts the pressure to the upside. In the short term, there is two potential paths that I would be watching to happen, which could present, of course, buying opportunity. Either you wait for the stock to break the previous peak to create a high sequence, then you buy the first pullback, looking for the extension higher to take place within a 5-wave advance. The second one is that even without breaking the previous peak, after finishing this current cycle, a US pullback will hold above the recent April lows, and then another leg higher. So you could be either buying this pullback after a 5-wave advance, or if it reaches the first target around 944 and manages to do a pullback, then it will be presenting another buying opportunity. Yeah, that's really important. Yeah, if the divergence in Bitcoin will be erased, that will confirm that the extension is taking place within a wave 3 and not a wave 5. That's a good point that you mentioned. So yeah, we are keeping that in mind. We know about all the potential paths, but we always go with the most aggressive approach. At this stage, I mean, as explained in this particular webinar, we are not presenting the most bullish scenario, which is reserved for our members in at elliottwave-forecast.com, because that's, of course, the one that they are following, and they are using our shares to buy the market. Okay, now the second, sorry, this was the third stock. I didn't take a look at the one that you mentioned. I mean, Angel, you mentioned 2 stocks, but they're already on the list. So this is also the second one, which is Core Scientific or CORZ. So this stock is one in particular that I like. At the same time, I don't see the best option in the short term. I wanted to see a better structure in the short term. Unfortunately, the market didn't give us. So let's talk about the main structure. This is one of the newest stock. It has a clear 5-wave advance from the lows. You can see after 5-wave advance, it also did a 3-wave pullback. It exceeded slightly the 618 area, which was one of the reasons that I was skeptical about it on April. But the next rally is now giving us a probability or a better chance that this could turn into an impulsive or a nest structure from the lows. If we manage to hold above April lows, in this case around $6, there is the 5-wave advance. If the market is really going to do another 5-wave advance, then this is only the wave 2 taking place. It needs to hold the lows. I don't see a clear 3-wave pullback. The only thing that you could be using, there is no clear connector, because this spike that happens, I believe, in the earnings almost reached the equal X. So if you are going to use the spikes, then almost reach the target, which is the reason that I'm putting the stock on the list, because technically speaking, without the daily closes, we already have a higher high sequence. So technically speaking, that's why I'm mentioning that there is a potential nest playing out. If we are using that, there was a technical spike here. After hours trading market always will help you out in this case. So you are showing an incomplete sequence to the upside. If this is not an ABC, then the market will be trading higher within a wave 3 of 3. In this case, it needs to hold the lows and then starting another 5-wave advance to the upside to finish the entire cycle. I'll be putting the labels here: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. How this will be played out in the short term, unfortunately, the only thing that could help you, if you are looking to take this stock in particular, then your only option is to define your level based on the fib retracement, because we don't have any clear C swings from the peak. It's already sitting within 50% area. I would say if there is buyers going to step in, they need to be showing around this area before the market turns higher from here. So this is the area to watch. And from here, you should be expecting a turn soon. I mean, maybe between $13, $11. I don't know how low it can go, but most likely if we are going to hold the previous lows, for example, from June, similar to Bitcoin, then maybe something similar to this. Most importantly for you is that you have a high sequence, and if you are trading the stock, the main pivot or the main stop that you should be using is below the April low, which is around 624. So if you are buying, you should be putting a stop here. You have a potential of an extension higher toward 32. So yeah, you have a potential to X move to the upside. If you calculate your risk accordingly, then it gives you a better opportunity higher later on. Now, the final one, which there was also a question about it. That's why I said, let's take it step by step, is Bitfar. Now, Bitfar is kind of different from the rest. This is not the perfect, or it won't be my first choice. It's my fifth stock that I'm adding to the list. Now, the reason I'm adding this one to the list is only because of the structure. It's similar to what we showed in Mara or Riot, a 5-wave advance from 2023 or 22 low, depending on the exact low, December 2022. And now it's showing 3 waves from the peak. Now, this is one of the high risk, high reward potential scenario. If we have a major low that is taking place, a weekly low within the buying area, which still didn't reach the reaction. The only reason been rallying the stock recently because I believe it's buying now Ethereum instead of, apart from mining Bitcoin, is adding Ethereum to its holdings. And this could be potentially the start of the next leg higher. There is big potential here. If this is going to be doing another 5-wave advance similar to the one that started from 2022, that opened the door for a potential move toward $4. So if you are, let's say you are just buying around $1 despite the equal X being lower, that's a potential for X move to the upside, which is a good risk reward. The reason for this, because you have a clear stop. Now, for me at this stage, it still didn't even create a bullish sequence in the short term. So there is no reason to suggest a buy. But if you are an investor and you are looking for this accumulation area until Bitcoin, or as long as Bitcoin didn't reach 135, 140 or 150, then there is a chance for Bitfarm to start an acceleration higher within wave 3. There is no sign yet of the break. I would be watching, or at least I would like to see a confirmation with the break above the trend line, starting to see five waves to the upside. That will open maybe potential higher. You can see even in the short term, the daily cycle. We can see that the equal X area is around 121. I just always want to double check. Okay, there is no spike there, but yeah, I want to use the spike from the previous May peak and the spike from here to have the exact target. 1 second, otherwise it will be slightly different. There you go. So technically speaking, the stock is now reacting from maybe this trend line, but for you to be able to confirm that this is not going to make new lows, it needs to keep this higher low sequence and it needs to create a higher high sequence. We still didn't manage to make a high above 122, so it needs to show that there is a higher high sequence. So if it managed to pull back, if you see this break higher taking place, then I would be looking to buy this secondary pullback with the stop exactly below 0.69, and the potential reward here is a move back toward $4. So that's a huge move to the upside with a potential probably 30% decline. If you know how to calculate your risk management, you know that this is a really good opportunity for a potentially 1 to 4 risk reward. So that's one. That's the one that I wanted to end the list with, because despite not presenting a bullish sequence for investors, this one could present a potential break and acceleration, specifically if Ethereum now starts to trying to catch with Bitcoin and even could aim for new all-time highs. That could open the door for this one to accelerate higher. Now I'll be checking your question for sure. Okay, so let me know if you have any other question about the rest of Ansmith. I'll be checking the question about, for example, Bit Digital. This one in particular is sideways. I didn't put this one on the list, but of course I've been watching all the mining stocks, but in particular it's not mentioned on the today list because it's not really showing any bullish sequence yet. Similar to the rest. In the short term, it's going to be similar to the one that we talked about it before. This is your, I believe, April low. As long as it stays above it, then the market has a high potential to follow up with another move to the upside toward the next equal X area, in this case around 6.89, 8.12. It's a good probably risk reward if you already got an entry, but the structure here is not the best. I mean, we can count this either as I'm not sure if it can't even be counted as a diagonal, because you see here, this is a lower low. So technically speaking, all you have is 3 swings. You don't even have a 5 wave to the upside. So it's weak, but there is a chance of making a bounce back towards $6.89, $8 in the coming few weeks to follow up with Bitcoin. I don't know if the short term is presenting good buying opportunity, but it looks to be already showing 3 waves. So similar to the rest of Ansmith, you want to see a 5 wave advance. So I would wait for this. Okay, now this is a good structure, because we are seeing the break above 618 area. It's still 3, but if the market going to be bullish, you need to see a break above the 618 area, in this case 359, which happened. Now the pullback needs to hold, and you see another leg like this. If this happens maybe next week, then definitely you should be looking to buy the pullback, because that opened the door to the upside later on. But we don't have yet a 5-wave advance, so take it step by step. I hope that answered your question. Now going back to the first question about buying either Mara or Riot. So these two stocks in particular, you need to look for your risk reward. What is your risk reward in this case? Now, if you are buying, let's say you are just going to buy it right now. You don't care about what's going to happen, or you are not going to wait for the 5 waves structure to confirm. In terms of risk reward, you are going to buy here, looking for a target around $41. So it's 100% or 110% move to the upside, and the risk to the downside here. Let me put the risk at the risk here. You should be using the June low as a pivot. So your stop is around, okay, let's use the trading tool for better perspective for everyone. I suppose you are buying here. Which I'm not suggesting, I'm just answering a question, which is better. And the only thing to be for me to compare two instruments that have the same structure, they are not bullish yet, but have similar structure, is comparing the risk reward. This one is giving you, where is the risk reward? The risk reward is 3. Now let's move on to Riot, which is almost similar. It's not making new highs. I mean similar, not exact same structure, but I mean they are not breaking the previous peak. They have 5-wave up, 5-wave up, 3 waves pullback, and now breaking to the upside. Now let's take the same tool and put a buying opportunity here. Let's use the same June low. Let me double check, which is, so the June 23. So if we are using the June 23 as a low in this case, so that's your June 23, yeah. So I'm putting a stop here. Again, I'm not suggesting that you go and buy exactly now. If you are a technical trader, you always should wait for the confirmation, or you have already a long position. And the target toward the 100%. Now you see the risk reward here is 253. So based on the risk reward ratio, in terms of trading, Mara is a better trading opportunity, because if you buy both stock at the same time today, one, and of course you are respecting the target, if both reach the same target in 100%, one will give you 3 to 1, the other one would be giving you just 2.5. So in terms of which one is better, Mara is a better opportunity. Of course, if you got maybe an entry lower, that's a gift for you. That's even better. If you are buying from low levels, maybe you want to wait for Riot to give you an entry around $11. That would give you a 4 to 1 risk reward, which will be a better one. So it really depends on your entry. So you need to define later on which entry is better for you. I don't know if it's going to give you that pullback, but if you manage to get an entry at lower levels, yeah, this could be worth for trading. Okay, let me check if there is any other question. Okay, about Solana, I mean, we are not covering coins today, but I can take a look really quick at it, because we don't have any other question. I'm just reviewing the question. I'll finish by doing a recap for sure. We don't use Fibonacci extension in time the way we are using the Fibonacci extension in price. We have our own timing cycles that we are introducing in for our clients, which is completely different from the Fibonacci tool. So that's only for our members that we present. But remember, predicting time or forecasting time is one of the hardest things. So we are not here to forecast time. We are here to forecast price and levels. We already covered Hive, but yeah, I can show you really quickly. We're already 1 hour past in the session. We just finished with a small question. So Hive, this is not, as I explained earlier, the stock already made a lower low, so it's not the best investment stock in the market, but I would expect this to bounce. I mean, the bounce could continue already toward $2.72, $3, but it's only in 3. I would love to see a 5-wave advance from the lows. Then if that happens, maybe in the coming few weeks, I would like to buy the pullback for another move toward $4. I don't expect maybe this one to break above $6. I don't expect 2023 peak to be taken out, or even 2024, because this is showing a low sequence in the weekly cycle. That's why best case scenario for Hive is to bounce toward $4. Of course, in terms of percentage, this is really another almost 100% move. So yeah, that's still a good move to the upside. Okay, I'll be definitely checking coin and MicroStrategy. Sorry, MicroStrategy. Okay, star one. Yeah, this one, the targets for CORZ Scientific, I have a target to the upside, which I shared earlier. Potentially, I mean, the potential target almost was reached in the first leg, which is $22.2. If you are looking for the extension higher, I would be focusing on 32, and the next one is here. So if we are trading within a wave 3, then most likely you could be expecting 32 to 48, but we are not seeing the confirmation yet. I repeat again, we need to hold above the recent April low, and we need to see new highs above June to confirm the move higher toward 32 and 48. That should be the target higher. I have others, of course, stocks, but I mean, we are running out of time. We'll be soon wrapping this session. So let's take a look at MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy. Yes, that's correct. Because I'll always have MicroStrategy in mind, so sometimes I confuse pronunciation. So this one we've been sharing a lot. The same target. This is going to be an easy one because we already have 5-wave advance. You see, for example, MicroStrategy is showing, or MSTR already showing 5 waves from the lows from April. You see here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is a bullish 5 swing to the upside. The market will have 2 options here. First of all, I'm still expecting, I already have the targets mapped. 1 second. We already expecting 600, 736 to be seen. So 600 is a minimum target. How this target will be achieved? You have 2 paths. Either a 5-wave advance is ending soon, so a pullback and another advance like this to reach the target before finishing this 5-wave advance alongside Bitcoin. Or if the market is really breaking out to the upside, this is a nesting structure. This could be 1, 2, 1, 2, and a strong acceleration within wave 3 will be seen, something similar to this, before the cycle ends. Both have the same end result with a move towards 617. It will be just 2 different paths. I'll put this in blue to give you the perspective. I'll change this in the blue. So you see, they have both the same end result, which is a new all-time highs to finish this cycle. I believe same with Coinbase stock, which is already breaking into new highs. You see this acceleration. At one moment, it was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You had 2 options, either a pullback and higher again, or a straight move into the wave 3. That's exactly what I explained here in MSTR. Either it's going to be a straight move to the upside with small pullbacks, or a pullback to hold above the April low and more upside. Now, coin in the short term is approaching the first target. I think today we almost hit the first target. This is the first target based on the previous cycle from December 2024. The stock is bullish. We have a bullish sequence. Most likely we should be extending higher. I believe the stock will be breaking into new time highs in 2025, and we have a minimum target around 461. We've been posting, or we already wrote some blogs about it, and the stock extension higher based on this cycle. If this is a wave 1 and 2, then you can expect in wave 3, 4, and 5, potentially toward 461, 536. That's the potential target for this one. I hope that answered your question. I mean, we should be wrapping the session. I'll just take one more question. Can wave 3 overlap like diagonal structure? Wave 3 can only be presented within an overlap if there is a diagonal. I'll explain this, but I recommend that you watch our educational video on YouTube or in our website. There is a free educational video there. We'll share the link of the website. So when there is a diagonal, the market trade like this. Okay, it's better to put it. Let me show you. So first of all, the diagonal should be looking like this. So the structure is already overlapping. So this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So first of all, that's a diagonal. You have two types of diagonal, an impulsive diagonal or a corrective one. I mean, the structure in the internal could be either corrective or impulsive. Usually, ending diagonal could be corrective, or sometimes the leading diagonal could be impulsive, but there is no rule saying that you should be having a corrective structure or an impulsive structure within the diagonal. So in wave 3, to answer your question, the wave 3 could be either, I'll put a different color in a second, could be either like this. So this is the first scenario, which means there is no overlap within the wave 3. It could be a 5-wave advance. Or the second scenario, the wave 3 could be just also another 3 waves. Like this. So the corrective structure within a diagonal, it could be forcing the overlap. But you can't be expecting a wave 3 in the diagonal to have an overlap if it's an impulsive 5-wave advance. Okay, yeah, I have a circle on mind. It was here. To be honest, circle, at current stage, I would avoid it. I was about to post about it in the recent few weeks, but it already hit the target. The moment it managed to break this short-term peak in June, in early June, I mean, it was looking for an extension higher. But for now, I would avoid it. The reason why I'm saying this, because I'm not seeing a clear 5 waves. Yes, we have the extension above the 618 area from the first day. We are only seeing 3 waves. I mean, we can force the 5 waves, but if you want to trade this one because it's still new, I would like to see there is 2 options. You see, it perfectly hit this 2618 area and retraced from there, which is giving me the intention that this majority of the majority of the cycle has ended, and I would be expecting this to maybe enter a sideways period of time. So the only way I'm looking to buy, if I see a clear 3 waves from the peak, if we drop, for example, back toward this range, maybe toward 153, 118, I'm not saying it will happen, but if it drops like this and start creating a new impulsive cycle from here, then yeah, I would be looking to buy it. Otherwise, this could be only the first cycle, and we saw many examples of first cycles coming, and then I think one moment, just really quickly here, like this one. I don't want to be caught on the cycle that is short-lived because Bitcoin isn't far away from the target. So this one already gave you what? That's already 300 move to the upside. So I would be maybe looking for a better structure on the future. Okay, any final question? We should be wrapping up the session. Keep in mind, I mean, these instruments, you need to understand that trading, I always want to focus on the bullish structure. And going back with sorry, with there you go, GLXY. A stock like GLXY showing a high sequence, that's your best option. A stock like IREN, even in the short term, bullish sequence. And the best way is to buy the blue box in 3 or 7 swings. Now, keep in mind, the best way to trade the market is using this technical structure, which is something that we show in our website to our member. I would recommend that you check out our website at elliottwave-forecast.com. We currently have a promotion going on with the 14th of July, which will be ending on Monday. You either could take the promotion, which will be a good really discount for you to check our service, or you can always take the 14-day trial. We cover 78 instruments across indices, forex market, commodities, of course, crypto, and stocks and ETFs. We don't cover yet some of these mining stocks, but if you are interested in the crypto market, you should be checking out the instrument that we are covering, like Bitcoin, Solana, and ETH, Dogecoin, XRP, BNB. I didn't cover Solana, but before we wrap up, I'll check it out for sure. I just wanted to finish with this. Keep in mind, trading is always risky. You need to have the right tools to be able to trade the market. Without the right tools, you won't be able to survive. And the right tools are essential, because going back to this, for example, if you are a small trader, or, I mean, you don't have the tools to be able to identify this buying opportunity, majority of this move was 67%. So any small trader will be panicking after seeing, or any new trader will be panicking after seeing 60% drop. If you are using our Elliott wave structure or our blue box system, you know that exactly this was the best buying opportunity for the stock, at least looking for a 3-ways bounce, not even looking for new highs, which give you, for example, even if you entered at the blue box, just to retest the previous peak, it was giving you almost 100% move. So that's why getting these edge, these market give you an edge. I didn't want to ignore your question. So yeah, I'll be checking Solana for you, because I have it. Solana is one of those coins that did outperform in 2021. It did manage to make a good rally in the recent 2 years, but to be honest with you, the only thing I can give you for now is that Solana will be trading higher toward this area, following Bitcoin path. But from here, we need to decide. So it will be at least seeing a move toward 218, 240. That's the only thing I can say for now. I don't know if Solana is going to make new all-time highs, but when it reaches this area, we will know for sure. So the next extension higher is around 218, as long as it holds above this recent June low. I think, yeah, I'm just reading question. You are welcome, my friend. Yeah, that's a good suggestion. I'll keep that in mind. I'll put this in the list. I mean, we have other analysts that could be also covering this type of question, but yeah, why not? Treasury companies, stocks for the next webinar for sure. Okay, so if you enjoyed the show, keep in mind, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our Elliott Wave Forecast channel. Also, if you are interested in educational video, check out the channel. We have a lot of videos that will help you out to get started. Keep in mind, we also share fresh market updates at Elliott Forecast on X. You can also follow me at Elianovicu on X. I do regular cryptocurrency updates, some stocks and ETFs for sure. So a huge thanks to everyone for who joined us during this live. Your question made it really amazing. Thanks everyone. Enjoy your day and see you on the next podcast.